back to the Secrets to Getting Clients Summit. I am the interviewee today, so I'll introduce myself. I am Nancy. I am the co-founder of Ucoachia. I have a 20 plus year history in sales, an award-winning sales trainer. The word like executive, whatever comes before or after the word sales, I've done it. And I absolutely love teaching people how to grow their business and learn how to speak to people in a natural way that isn't pushy or salesy. And it's what I love to do. So I'm Nancy.
Hi, I'm Harley. I'm co-founder of Ucoachia. So Nancy described eloquently her experience in sales. Let me put it in layman terms. Nancy is the best salesperson I have ever witnessed in my life. She inspires me daily with the energy that she brings to her enrollment conversations and how no is not an option for Nancy. It's just not. She knows how to meet common ground, and she's incredible. She's incredible, and she's also the way that Nancy takes on tasks and doesn't stop until she completes what she sets out to complete. You've never met anyone like this woman. She is a force to be reckoned with. So let's get into it. Nancy Prager, and I'm honored to work with her every day. So, okay, so we're going to get into why everyone is here right away, which is clients and client attraction, client acquisition, enrollment. Tell me, what has been your personal favorite, most prolific, most successful way of getting clients for yourself, Nancy?
You know, it's funny. I want to say one thing, but I don't. I have like a couple different things I like to do.
Yeah.
I have found it's been obviously connection, right? Like it's posting up something and just putting up a sales page. I mean, I'm sure some people will buy from it, but that doesn't work as well. I have found for one-on-one clients, when I was trying to build up my company and my personal coaching and starting out and trying to get one-on-one clients before I was doing groups, I found there was this amazing thing I was doing on LinkedIn, and I was taught to me, and the person who taught it to me said, you have to be okay with living in a gray. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? Like, so it means that there's truth in what you're saying, but that truth can be taken one of two ways, and you're allowing that truth to be kind of fluid. And I was like, I don't lie. It's unfortunately for everyone around me, I'm very, very direct and blunt.
It's true.
It's a lot of truth in that. So I don't like to lie. I don't like to deceive. And I don't like when people do that to me. But I am perfectly cool with misinterpretation, because that's somebody else's choice to understand something how they want to understand it. And the approach is really kind of cool. So in LinkedIn, when you're looking for your ideal client, so Harley teaches niche in Ucoachia. And one of the things in the world of niche is that you're being taught to who's your ideal client. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it's like, I like working with women who are 40 to 60, and I really like it if they like country music, and I love spicy food. I want spicy food eating, country music loving women 40 to 60 who have curly hair. Who is this person? How are you finding them, right? Like they're nowhere, like good luck. But when you do a LinkedIn client search, you can actually search for mom. If you're focused on mom, so you can put in like the title mom, you can put down their geographic location, you can limit to like their level of expertise and things. So you're able to really pinpoint down specific details that are searchable in LinkedIn. Totally cool, right? So then you can now you have this big pool. And as long as you have connections, because that's the key thing with LinkedIn is making connections, you can then connect with them. And then when you're in LinkedIn itself and you want to connect with somebody, you create a message request. And you can put in the message request, you can just do their automatic one, like ask to connect, or you can ask to connect with a message. And in that message is where the magic of this entire idea happens. What you're doing is you're writing someone and you're saying, basically, this is where the gray is, okay? So if you've ever thought about writing a book, if you've ever thought about doing an interview series, if you've ever thought about anything like that, that's the gray. It's like you're thinking about it, hasn't been formulated. It's not something you're actually doing. And you're writing, I would love to interview you. I would love to interview you. And you say, I have a project I'm working on. Maybe it's in your head. Maybe it's just but that's the gray. Like, you could be working on it. Maybe you will work on it. Your intention has to be to eventually do it. So there's truth in what you're saying, but that's not the outcome you're trying to achieve. So you're asking them if you could interview them, and you write a very, very brief, it's like, I think they give you 250 characters or something. So it's like, hey, I saw you, I would love to interview you for a project I'm doing on moms who are in corporate America. Like, so let's just pretend your target is moms in corporate America. So who are transitioning, who are dealing with the issue between being a mom and being in corporate America. So that would be your target. You write that, you send that off. LinkedIn allows you to send that email to them. So then they reply, would love to connect. Now, normally people don't look at that little blurb you just wrote. So they don't, and then you just rewrite it again. Hey, great to connect with you. I'm working on a project about, the challenges that moms who are transitioning, who have a family, are transitioning back into corporate America and dealing with it. I would love to interview you. I think it would be really beneficial to speak to you. Your goal of this interview is twofold. One is to go get information, because you're doing market research at this point. It's very important to understand who your client is and what their language is. Oftentimes when we do market research, we are asking things and we then reinterpret their words for them. Like, somebody might say, oh, I'm really having a hard time dealing with my kids. There's such pains and all they want is my attention. And you reinterpret that as, struggling to deal with balance between mom and kid. That's not what they said. That's not what they said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about, Harley, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what you're talking about now is market research for copy, right? Yeah. And what copy is for anyone who doesn't know, is just the words you're going to use in your offerings, in your emails, so that you're speaking the language of your ideal client, so they feel understood, they understand, and they hear themselves in your language, right?
Yeah, literally, they'll read it and be like, that's me. Of course it's you. You just said it. Like, you literally just said it.
Yeah.
Then they'll come back and you'll hear all their language. So you're using this interview for that.
Yep.
And the other thing you're using the interview for is to gauge whether or not they're a prospect. And so you're asking very, very targeted questions. Your questions are, what's the one thing that you're dealing with in this specific issue that you would want to focus on the most? What's the one thing that you're struggling the most in? What is the one thing that, if you could have this fixed right now, would be? Now you're getting input for yourself about what your program's going to be. If you serve that, awesome. If you don't, it's helpful to know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you want this fixed? And then at the end you say, thank you. Thank you. You're not selling them in this interview. You're doing nothing like that. Thank you. It's 15 minutes. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this. You know what? You've been so helpful to me. I would love to return the favor. I actually, you don't really talk about yourself too much. I have a program and I help people just like you. And I would love to be able to talk to you about that and see, and try to help you a little bit. Would that be of interest to you? The answer is generally yes, by the way. So then now you just created a discovery call and you've already qualified them as your ideal client. So now they know you, they like you, they trust you, and now you're on a call with them. On the next call, you have to serve. So you can't just be, normally I'll tell people a discovery call is not a coaching experience, because it's about them discovering what their problem is and that the solution's you. It's kind of the same thing, except for you do want to give 1 or 2 things that can help. So the second call is going to be like, look, I really appreciate your time. I'm so excited about this. Just so you know, I do have a program, and if I think it's going to be a fit, I'd love to tell you about it. But I'd really want to learn a little bit more about what's going on with you and see if we can't get to anything today.
Yeah. And can I jump in for 1 second, Nancy? Because I love what you're saying right now about how it's not a coaching call, but you do need to serve. However, just letting someone speak about their problems is serving them. Just creating the space and asking them the questions, what is your biggest struggle right now, in that second call, and allowing them to process that by getting it out of their body is serving them. So you may not be having a full coaching call where you're solving their problems, because that's a big trap. You do not want to solve their problems in that enrollment call, because if you do, they will have a false sense that they don't need you. But I just want to highlight the value of allowing someone to unload, right? That is service too, holding that space for them. That just came up for me. So I think this is so powerful. Yeah.
100%. And the best thing is at the end of that second call,
yeah,
you can make an offer because you set up the top of the call. We go through our set up discovery calls in Ucoachia, but it's at the top of the call, you're going to be able to say like, hey, I have this program, service, product, whatever that might benefit. If so, is it okay if I share that with you? Mm-hmm. Then when you go to make an offer and you don't share that, you're not honoring your word. Just bear that one in mind. So, and it's not a surprise to them, right? Like you're not saying to them all of a sudden out of nowhere, you're making an offer. You want to set it up because then you say, hey, I actually really do think my program would serve you. May I share that with you? Or you know what? I don't think my program is quite the right fit for you. Is it okay if I come up with some resources that might benefit you? Mm-hmm. So, and then if they say, so now let's go back to the first initial part of this where you're asking them to meet with you. If they say no, you say, awesome, great. Do you know anyone who's like you who might be willing to speak with me for this interview? Referral. Yeah. And then they think, you can even say, do you have maybe one or two friends that are like you? Be specific. And then they'll say, well, actually, I do know. I know this person, be like, wonderful. Would you be comfortable making that introduction? You can make an email introduction, just CC me on it. You want to be included on it so you don't get lost in the fold. And that is one of the best ways I've ever seen to go get one-on-one clients. And I have had people I've worked with who've done that and they've gotten clients like from it too. And it is crazy effective because it is not, it's kind of like a backdoor version. And as long as you're honestly going to thinking one day you might write a book about this, or one day you might.
And you all have a book in you. You do. You all have a book in you.
Exactly. So you just need to say to yourself, okay, well, yeah, no, I can see myself maybe one day if there's enough information here, maybe. That's good enough. Welcome to Gray. So that is the I would say the best method I've ever come across. Yeah. Yeah. To go get clients. I love it.
I love it. And even the interview process is serves them, right? Because when you're asking them questions about their lives, like many times, like for example, the women you were speaking about, women in corporate America or moms in corporate America who are struggling between those two roles. How often do they have a space where they get to talk about that? Probably not many. So even in the interview, I'm just saying how you can kind of put it in your mind so you don't feel like you're, that you're still in service, because even that interview is a place of service. So I love that, Nancy. I love that. Okay. So
I'm just going to jump in. I think I should do a pop-up on this in UC.
100%.
Because I could do it could be like a quickie class and teaching you guys how to do this and get you guys to swipe files. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea because I know that it's worked so well for you in the past.
Oh yeah.
I remember actually, when it worked really well, my husband and I were working on possibly a film, and we were going to work on a documentary, and that's when it really worked. People really want to be, in a movie. So
it's surprising.
Yeah. So no, I think that's a great idea, Nancy. I think that's a great idea. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next question, but I just want to sum up what Nancy said as simply as I can. So on LinkedIn, first you have to identify your ideal client. And if you haven't, and you're in Ucoachia, come to my niche class because I help you with that. And then LinkedIn enables you through search words to identify who your ideal client on LinkedIn and create connections.
Yep.
Going to then send a message request to them. Yeah.
Yep. But you don't want to hit connect. You want to hit message request.
Message request. You do the blurb first, but they probably don't read that blurb the first time. So when they say yes, you send the blurb again. Mm-hmm. You set up
you send it a little bit longer. I'll get you guys swiped for that one.
Yeah. Okay. And then when you interview them, you say, you're working on a project. It could be a book. It could be an interview series. You'd love to interview them, that their experience could help others. Mm-hmm. And then as a thank you for them helping you with their interview, you offer them a discovery call in which you serve them and then have the opportunity to make an offer.
Correct.
Awesome. I love it. Great strategy.
It's phenomenally effective.
Yeah, take this one in, you guys. Take this one in. Does anyone have questions before I move on to the next question? No?
Nope.
Okay, great. And throughout the process, if you guys do have questions while we're talking, feel free to just type it in the chat, and we will, that's what this is all about. We really want it to be interactive and to make sure that we're serving you.
Yep.
So I'm going to switch to our next question, which is, I want you to remember when you were first starting out on this journey, okay? And you were starting with your coaching career and your outreach with clients. And if you could look back now, knowing everything that you know now after your 20-year incredible career, right? What piece of advice, what piece of wisdom would you have for yourself when you were just starting out that could have made a difference? You know, another way to say this is there anything you would have done differently?
Oh yeah. Well, when I'm thinking about with the coaching, so when I left corporate America and decided to go out on my own, I was scared, you know, and it was overwhelming, and there were so many things out there and I didn't know what to do. And it was constantly like feeling like I was behind the 8 ball, because I think that's what the saying is. It's like everyone seemed to be making all this money, all these posts. I saw all this stuff and I was like, you know, I'm just starting out. Like, is this, and it felt really overwhelming. And it made me feel like I wasn't doing it right, because I wasn't hitting what these people were, because I was new and I was just kind of creating myself, but I wasn't giving myself grace. And I think one of the things that caused me to do was not be visible. And meaning I was scared to go 100% into something. People use that a lot, say like I'm 100% in, but 100% in means a lot different. It's definitely a lot different when you're 100% in something versus when you think you are. They are not the freaking same thing.
No.
100% in is where you're just like, this is my life. Like I'm 24/7 and I have a mission. I have a goal. This is what I'm achieving today. It's not like you're not doing the fluff. The fluff is I'm creating a website. The fluff is I'm going to do a landing page. I want to get my social media. That's fluff. That feels good and busy. It is not getting you out there. You're hiding still behind something.
Yeah.
The real stuff is dropping into a DM and connecting with someone, offering help, going out there and actually, honestly, investing in myself was one of the scariest things I ever did.
Oh, I know.
And I made multiple mistakes in that area, but like it was one of the scariest things. And when the first time I dropped money on my business, it was like, it felt like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this. But I wasn't, because I was still like not convinced that this was going to really work. And I didn't really believe in myself. And if I could go back, I would literally like slap myself upside the head and say, like, you've spent 2 years, I'm a little crass, but 2 years like dicking around, trying to figure out a safe way of being seen and being out there. And instead what you did was shoot yourself in the foot, because you spent thousands of dollars. You did not achieve your goals, and you convinced yourself by not achieving what you wanted to achieve that you weren't going to achieve it. I didn't realize I was setting myself up because I was so afraid of standing into the success. I was so afraid of depending on myself.
Yeah. So powerful. Everything you're saying is so powerful. What would have helped you in that moment back then when you were so afraid of stepping into it? What do you think could have helped you?
Well, one, I think I wish somebody had told me that all those posts of people making 6 figures in like 30 days were lies, because I actually honestly thought there was thought they were valid. There's so many of them. There must be truth in this. And then when you're not making that, like I guess this was from, I actually keep this on my wall because it makes me laugh. This is from one of the first things I ever went to, and this was the promise. I don't know if you guys can see this.
6 figures in 60 days.
That's on crazy. My wall. This is a load of crap that I bought, because I actually thought that's not a business.
No. 6
figures in 60 days. You're not in a business. You're in a flash. And I didn't understand that. So
what's a flash?
A flash meaning like if a business builds, right? You have to have a foundation for it. You have a plan, you have a strategy, it's repeatable. It's not like you can get a client. But what you want is a business.
Right.
And there's, again, a vast divide between the two. And saying getting 6 figures in 60 days
Yeah.
is not getting a business. That's getting a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's repeatable. And then all of a sudden you're going to have this money, which by the way, did not happen to me, just so we're clear, but you're going to have this money. And then you're going to think like, oh, I can do that again, not realizing it was a one-shot deal. And you don't actually even know how that happened to begin with and how to repeat it.
Yeah.
And so if I had gone back, I want blinders and be like, what is your focus? What is your
Yes, so good.
Yeah, it's kind of like you need to look at it like, and all the crap of all those promises and all this big money, is that really true for you? Like, I don't need 6 figures in 60 days. That was sold to me as something I wanted. Would I like it? Sure. Do I need it? No. Is it my driving force? Absolutely not. But I was hearing the noise. So if I could go back, I'd put blinders on, I put my earmuffs on, and I look in and I'd be like, okay, this, you're good at this.
Yeah.
You're doing this forever. You know how to teach people how to do this. You look at everyone who's in this industry and they're not succeeding, and part of it has to do with their approach. I can't handle all the parts. I know that. That's why we have Ucoachia. Like, we can't do it all. But like, and that's the other thing I would also tell myself is one person doesn't have the solution.
Right.
One person doesn't have the freaking solution.
So don't spend all your money on one person.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And if somebody's charging you tens of thousands of dollars and making a guarantee, the only guarantee is that person just made tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. That would be, so like, I would definitely, those are the things I'd go back and tell myself, like 6 figures in 60 days is not realistic.
Okay. I love that.
And it made me feel bad about myself for a very, very long time that I wasn't achieving what was shown to me as what everyone else was doing.
So what I heard you say in that answer is, first of all, I love the visual, the feeling of blinders. And I imagine, racehorses, their blinders on. They cannot run their race. This is good. I had one coach for years, didn't get anywhere. I'm so sorry to hear that, LaShawn. You are in good company, my dear. There are so many of us. But I love, racehorses cannot run the race that they have to run if they can see outside of themselves. So they have blinders on so they can focus on their race. That's what we need to do. We need to focus on our race because it's not going to look exactly like anyone else's, right? Mm-hmm. So I love that you said that, focusing on you, not getting distracted by what everyone else is doing, right?
Well, what they're saying you should want.
Right. And the other thing that I love about what you just said was not being fully in something, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't, I wish that there was a magic pill to give people to be fully in something. Like today, like I have a bit of a fever right now. I'm not well, and I'm here. I am here because I am 100% in because I believe in this so much, and I want to help people so much, and I know that in other times in my life, I would have canceled, And so it's really, and I think that it comes from also being in a community, because being on your own, it's hard, it's difficult, when you're questioning, and like you said, you didn't believe in yourself, but when you're surrounded by other people who are going through it as well, it can help you to be all in. So I love what you had to say to little Nancy starting out.
I'm like, I would be, what was that thing? The monkeys with the covering the ears.
Yes.
That would have been me. I would have been like, just do this part. And that's the other thing, guys, like people buy you. So if you try to come off as somebody else,
totally.
First off, they buy that other person, and now you have to figure out how to be them for the next couple months. Best of luck. So like, be yourself, because that's what they're paying for. And that would be the other thing, like I'm talking about the monkey, the eyes, the ears. Let your mouth be who you are.
100%.
I have a little bit of a potty mouth. So if somebody doesn't want that,
and then they're not right for her.
Work with me. They won't like it, or they can skip my class, or they can fast forward. But whatever they're going to do, they have to. But if they think that I'm somebody who's very, very pristine, they're gonna, and I come off that way, all of a sudden they meet me and they're like, ooh.
Yeah. So being true to who you are. LaShawn, do you want to, you don't have to, no pressure, but I'm just wondering if you want to say more about what you wrote in the chat about working with one coach and not getting as far as you'd like. Or does that just sum it up? If that just sums it up, No worries. I'm just giving you the opportunity to share here.
And if you need me to, and Liz, you too, if you want to be unmuted, just here, I'll give you guys the option.
Okay, so why don't you let LaSharn unmute?
I think I did. Oh, wait.
We can hear you. We can hear you, LaSharn.
No, I just muted her again. Hold on.
All right.
There we go. Try it again. I won't touch.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to speak too much on it.
Yeah.
I'm just really starting out. I did want to say that, and just what you shared so far is a lot, and I'm happy to grab it, especially the piece on LinkedIn, and also saying that you weren't 100% in. And today, I wasn't sure if I had the courage to get on this call. So I'm happy that I did. And my old coach, it was more of a mindset, but I know how to meditate and I know how to do self-development. And that's all she really gave me after spending money. I also fell for the 60 days. In 60 days, you'll have 6 figures.
Yeah.
No, but then they wanted me to spend like over $5,000 just to get whatever their strategies were. So I'm happy to be able to tap in with you guys and looking forward to moving forward with you.
Oh, I love hearing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, you know, I want to speak to that for just a second, because mindset is so important. It is essential to have the right business mindset, but it's not everything. There's so much more. And that's why I love Ucoachia too, because we do have, Amy teaches leadership and I teach mindset, and we're going to make sure that you're handling your beliefs about yourself and your business and all that, because it's essential. However, you need to know how to grow your email list. You need to know how to do events. You need to know how to reach out to people on LinkedIn. You need to take action. Action is where the breakthrough happens. The mindset is the beginning of and it's where you then jump off of. And you can't take the action without the mindset, but if you don't take the action, there is no breakthrough. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Liz, Liz, did you want to share something? I saw that you took yourself off. Maybe
okay, well, let us know in the chat if you change your mind, Liz. We'd love to hear from you.
Let us know. We're super excited to speak to everyone. Yay.
And I think that we can easily segue into our next question, because we've been talking about it, which is what is your biggest pet peeve in the coaching industry currently?
Well, okay, so I think we all know about the big promises is one of my issues. I think anybody who guarantees anything is a liar. Point blank, a liar.
Yeah.
Because they can't guarantee your success. If they could, they'd be billionaires.
Right.
Like, let's go have a big realistic clue here. If somebody said to me, I guarantee that you're going to make $1 million, do you think that I'd be their only client?
Right.
No, there'd be like a line forming to the left. If you told me I had to give you 900,000 and you give me $1 million, it's still a good deal. It's still a good freaking deal. Hey, Liz.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. So did you have something you wanted to add?
I think that this is a small group. I'm sorry, I was on my phone. It's a Saturday and I have kids doing football and Costco runs, but I wanted to hop on. And I don't know who was talking earlier, but I 100% agree with you, because I've been in this space for 2 years, just kind of dabbling, so have not been 100% in. And I also fell into that noise trap of oh yeah, you can do this, you can do this. And I do think that also stunted my growth, because I thought to myself, I'm not as good as them. Like, I must be missing something.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I not getting these 60-day results and all this stuff? And that is truly false. Like, and I should know that because I'm a serial entrepreneur. But when they tell you these things, I had never even known about the coaching space until 2 years ago. I have a background in court reporting. So I knew that space, didn't know the coaching space. And I was like, wow, how come everyone's not doing this? Well, that's why, because they don't guarantee it. And they have maybe 1 out of 10,000 people get that result. And that's what they keep promoting over and over and over again. And what they don't tell you is that they're spending $100,000 in ads. And so I totally think you are offering truth here. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I listen to a lot of these things, and within 10 minutes, I'm usually turned off. And like I said, I was doing things, watering plants and stuff outside. So I didn't have my video camera on, or I didn't want to unmute. So I was doing other things, but I wanted to come in and say, thank you. Thank you for your honesty, because
Mhm.
I really feel that there's a lot of people that are just trying to scam other people, which is so
Yeah.
frustrating.
That's
Yeah,
exactly,
no,
that's
and
exactly what's happening.
people's
Exactly.
dreams are dying every day. I mean, I don't know if you know our background, Liz, but Nancy and I met working at a guru company. We were on this.
This is a person who claims an 8-figure guru coach.
She's huge. She's huge.
And we were on the enrollment team is how we met.
And we got to see behind the scenes of what goes on. And it's not pretty.
Disgusting.
It's not pretty. It's not honest. It's not real. And we were like, there's got to be a better way. You can't get everything from one person. And so we are going to build it. And so that's why we're here. And we are speaking truth, not to everybody. Some people are not happy about that, but we don't care, because there's too many people getting hurt out there. So that's why we're here. So I'm so glad that you're receiving it and let it inspire you, because what you said, I love what you said about, it made me feel bad about myself. See, this is not a victimless crime, what they're doing. They're ruining people's self-esteem.
That's exactly what happened to me. I'm telling you, I have that sign up on my wall still, because it sits there and I look at it and I'm like, what the F was I thinking? And I know, just like you, I knew better.
Yeah.
I know that nobody can guarantee. That's the thing, I would guarantee you. So LaShawn, what happened to you? They said they're going to make this happen, but you have to pay more. So where we were, the leaders with this person, if you were in their program, was $5,000 for a self-directed. That means it's videos and nobody helps you. Just you're out on your own.
I've been through all these.
Well, actually, it was 55 by the time we left. Then on top of that, if you wanted to get support, they had group coaching. The group coaching was set up that you had pods of 6 to 8. They met for an hour twice a month. And in that hour, you got 10 to 15 minutes of time. Oh, how glorious.
Lucky.
For $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What is that? So this program is telling people they're going to make like six figures in 15 months. Nobody does. Nobody does. And Harley and I are sitting there and we're like watching this and we're like, we can't be a part of this. It's vile. So like going back to what my pet peeve is, my pet peeve is the lies.
Yep.
Crushing people's dreams because you don't, like, just like I'm like you, Liz, like I wasn't achieving it and therefore there's something wrong with me.
Yep.
Making you believe that that's even possible as an easy option. It's not. This is a business. Like what business do you wake up and make $1 million at? None, you know, and it's like the idea that one person has a solution. And what you guys also don't know, or maybe you do, is in these companies, what happens, so like
going real deep now. She's giving you the real truth now.
Like what's really
going on. To give you the real truth.
I have a lot of issues in this area. So one of the reasons why Ucoachia exists is because of what happens in these companies, which is when you go in and you join a program and they say to you, okay, great, you're here, you're in our 5,000. But if you really believed in yourself, if you really wanted what you did, you'd invest more. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, I do want this and I will invest more. So now you're down in that program, another 12 grand. So now you're up to like $17,000, $18,000 in still, whatever. So now this person's teaching you one method. They have this pre-recorded thing, one method that they're really, really good at. And I'll be honest, amazing at it.
Yes.
And they're powerful on stage. Like you're like, how do I harness their stage presence? Well, you practice it, but they don't teach you how to do that. So they say, okay, well, you're going to need to learn how to do email marketing. We're not specialists in email marketing. So let me bring in my friend who does it. Now you are like, oh my God, they're so generous and kind. They're bringing in my friend to teach me. No,
the program, exactly.
And they're getting a cut off that sale. They're selling you to their friends. You're being passed around to all their friends until you're flat freaking broke, because you want to know what the biggest commodity is in the coaching industry? It's you. Yeah. You were never meant to succeed. And that's what they don't tell you. And that's what we're fixing. Yeah. That's why Ucoachia exists, because we cannot take it. And it makes me so upset that people who have these big freaking hearts and
Yeah.
these big goals, and they want to help people, and they're not in it for the money. Who are you kidding? You didn't start this to get the money. You started it because you wanted to help people.
Mhm.
You started because there was something missing for you that you
And
wanted
you
to
just
share
want to
with
make a living. You just want to pay your bills and maybe, you know, and maybe you do have big financial goals, which is awesome too. We should have those too, right? But
Right.
but it's mostly these are people who want to serve.
Yeah.
And they're stomping on them, like,
Right.
you know?
And that's what I've been telling my husband, that I'm going to start playing the lottery, because I do want to coach people, and I do want to expose the coaches that are lying to so many other people. And in my eyes, just like yours, they're stealing from them.
They are.
And they have no clue, and they're really playing on their heartstrings, and they're working off of their emotions. And I think it's a big racket. And I
Yes,
said to my
it
husband,
is.
I love coaching. I
Yes.
hate the whole marketing thing and selling and all that stuff.
That's-
Like
yes.
you have to, I heard one of the big coaches the other day, you have to remarket to them, re-offer 12 to 14 times in 3 days after you propose your offer. I went, I am not going to do that. There's
Sounds
no
like
way.
someone we know. That sounds like someone we know.
I think we know who that is, but like,
Yeah.
there's different ways of doing things. And yes, you do need to reshare something, and it is around the 14 times. That's not false, but that's psychology. And that's just a way of doing it. It doesn't mean you have to be like, hey, Liz, you should go join Ucoachia. Have you joined Ucoachia? Hey, Liz, get in Ucoachia. You should join right now. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's what she says. You have to do it different ways. But I said to my husband, like, I don't see myself doing that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to make it, because I don't think that I can. I don't know, 12 to 14 times in 3 days. Wow.
Yeah.
That seems
Let me
like a
step
lot.
in. I need to step in here. Because I want you to take it easy with this belief on, I can't do it. That's not me. Okay. Because that's a very dangerous belief that's taking up room in your head right now. So then they're not the people. I mean, you're in the right place here, and be in our Facebook group. If anything, if you don't end up joining us, just stay in the Facebook group. And because the truth is that when you are aligned from your why, who are you helping? Who do you coach, Liz?
I coach people just like myself, entrepreneurs and executives, and basically just to reach optimal success in their life 52 weeks out of the year. So I don't coach like a 6-week program or something like that. I do start off with that, and that's my beta, basically group is I go good to go, greatest of all time in 1 month. And that's kind of just, they start with me, but it's a year-long course, because I don't think growth ever ends. I mean, it's just one of
that
those
shows me
things.
where you're at in your mindset, because that's where we want everyone to get to. We want everyone to get to offering a year-long program, because that's where transformation happens, right?
Exactly.
But just because that's how they do it, that doesn't mean that's how you have to do it.
Right.
Okay. And that's, buying into this story of how this is the only way. And like, they're the authority. If you don't do this, you will not make it. That's not true. They're just using those stories, using that speech to build themselves up as the authority. And you don't want to do it the way they do it, because if you do it the way they do it, you end up being a criminal. And so you can create your own way of authentically marketing yourself that feels good. It's possible, and through serving people, right? So I just wanted to take a minute to inspire you, because I know what that feels like, is wanting, and that's who we work with, is people who love what they do. They love coaching, but I don't want to do the business part. I don't want to do the sales. I don't want to do the marketing. But to have one,
Some of it I don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it I don't mind. It's just the constant following up. And my husband's in sales, and reminded me the other day, he's like, you know what? Timid salespeople have really skinny kids. And I started laughing. I'm like, that's funny.
No, but there's a way of doing it that's not going to be like 14 offers in 3 days seems a little bit excessive to me, and I wouldn't feel comfortable. I mean, I am aggressive. Like,
she is.
I am.
She's aggressive.
And like, I would not do that, because it doesn't feel genuine to me. Maybe I'm losing sales because of that. Whatever. But I will make offers. I will make sure it's available to you. I will do everything I can to serve you, and I will not hide. But I'm also not going to send you 87 emails a day saying, have you bought yet? Have you bought yet? Have you bought yet? Have you bought yet? So you have to kind of reframe things a little bit into, I am willing to do this because I want this goal, but I need to figure out how to make it work for me. So I need to figure out a strategy It's not that you're not willing to do it. You're not willing to do that strategy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
learn, like but there's a huge difference. And I like, that's really important because you do need to do these things. You just
Right.
do them differently.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I know, because I mean, you're not going to get business if people don't even know you're out there, of course.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, I've done brick and mortar, and I still am a partner with my court reporting business. So it's not like
Right.
not familiar with how that all works.
Yeah.
I just think that the whole coaching space is different than it was portrayed to me
Oh,
from
yes.
the beginning,
Oh,
which has definitely left a little bit of sour taste in my mouth, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, we're gonna consider UC mouthwash.
yeah.
Ucoachia is your mouthwash. No, we have like, just going back to the question, the pet peeves, it's all what we're talking about. And it's exactly that, because it takes these people like yourself, like LaSharn, like Carly, like myself, who we have something that we want to share, and we're left feeling less than, we're left feeling like we have no option other than the way that we don't like. We're left feeling like that's the only strategy.
Mhm.
And that there's no room for how we want to be. And you want to know something? Maybe there is no room for how we want to be in their game, but I don't want to play their freaking game.
Right. Right.
So that's cool with me. You go forth and you be gross,
Yeah.
and you commit your fraud,
Yep.
and you do illegal actions, and you beat and switch people, and you lie and you deceive.
Yep.
And we're going to be over here in integrity and helping people achieve what they want to do and their goals. And we're not going to charge you a gajillion billion dollars. And we're not going to say to you, oh, if you really wanted help, you need to pay an extra blah, blah, blah. Ucoachia is all inclusive. We're not trying to do that thing. Like, that's why we actually created this whole package. In fact, we have things like you can buy one-on-ones with the experts, right? Like, you can do that. And you can buy them on your own. We'll have an option. They're not there now. But we don't recommend that you do that without speaking to your pathway mentor, because we want to make sure that you actually need that.
Yeah.
Do you really need to spend money?
Right.
Or do you need to look at what you're doing and do it a little bit differently? Do you need to refocus?
Or more consistently, more consistently? You know, sometimes we want the power to be outside of ourselves. We want, oh, if I buy this project, this coaching package, they're just by doing that, I'm going to have success, instead of being consistent in our actions. Right. Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest key. Yeah, for sure. The consistency. And like you said, showing up 100%. No matter what, every day. So yeah, I totally agree.
And
with
the
that.
why, for me, like with Ucoachia, the why is so big because of everything we're talking about, because I know that people every day are losing the last dollar they have to these coaches. And some people have lost their lives. I'm not kidding. People, you know, it's terrible. It's terrible. And so my why is so much bigger than my fever. You know, and so it's like, and I don't think I ever had a why that was bigger than my fever. So we all have to find that. You know, and so I just love, thank you so much for sharing so authentically, Liz, both of you, and LaSharn as well. And I think that, you know, what we've been speaking about is exactly what the last question is why we did create this. We've already, is there anything else, Nancy, about why we created this that we haven't said already?
Well, okay, I'll just go through the list just to make sure. One is because there had to be a better way. There's not one person, one strategy is just not true. And then to have to pay for every single strategy is ridiculous. So not having to pay extra for support is not cool. So that's why we have built-in one-on-ones. You need accountability. All the classes have it built in. You need to be able to connect with people. So we have that. I'm trying to think why you coach it. It's like, because we don't want to be part of the problem, and it shouldn't cost a fortune to build your freaking business.
Right.
And you guys have every right to help people without being scammed. That's kind of, I think that's, and so I mean, it's a huge, for my big why is because I want people to actually have their dream and not be effed over. That's pretty much my why.
And that's the other re-education that we hope Ucoachia plays a part in, is that we've been convinced that coaching should cost this much. Who decided that? Who decided that program should be $15,000, should be $50,000? When you get into these programs, what they tell you is just make it up. You just make up your pricing.
You do.
You just make it up. Okay, so now everyone believes that quality education, you have to spend this amount of money. It's not true. They just made it up.
They
So
did.
you can come in and get quality education in a program like ours and not lose your shirt over it, you know? So I love everything you said, Nancy, and I think today was powerful. And I love hearing from two people, you know, and there's a backlash coming. It's coming, you know, for these larger coaches. You know, we're not the only voice out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, now, if you guys are interested, I would love to share with you, because I know we were talking about Ucoachia. I know, LaSharn, that you're stepping into it with us. I don't know, Liz, if you have yet or not, but would you be open to me sharing a little bit about what we are offering?
Oh yeah, I think I missed that. You were saying that that's a great way, a segue into it. Like, do you mind me sharing? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm always willing to listen. Like I said, I don't purchase anything anymore. I'll be completely honest with you, just because I'm like, you know what, I'll figure this out on my own and I'll learn it, and it'll take longer. But you know what? I'm not putting money in anybody else's pocket. Like, I'm going to figure this out.
You are not about to get that. Don't worry. We're sharing what we did and why we did it. And that way you can see it and you can make an informed decision. And of course, always ask questions. And I would reiterate, if anybody guarantees you anything, let that be the world's biggest red flag.
Yeah.
Let that be it. So here, I'm just going to share my screen so you guys can see what this is.
And if anything, this can be an inspiration for your own offers.
Yeah, so I'm on the landing pages, and Harley can throw it in the chat. It's ucoachia.com/join. And this is like what we're offering as far as classes go right now. You have sales, video, because this is what you need to build a business. You need to know sales, you need to know video, email, building out your community, your content, your social media, how to build a website. You need leadership, you need a signature course, you need to know your business finance, you need to know your niche, and you need to know how to do online events. That's all included. So I'm just going to scrolls. So we're doing this. We have 35 finding member spots left, just so you guys know. We're launching. And when somebody becomes a founding member, we're giving them the deal of the decade. And if you do the annual membership, you end up saving $17.90 off the regular membership. The monthly is $3.95. So it's a subscription model. The idea being that, you know, come on in. Like, there's not gonna be a big price tag. If you choose to do the annual, $39.50, and I believe the 6 month, I'm gonna do bad math here, but I believe it's $21.72. I could be off on that. Basically the 6 month you're saving $150, and in the year you're saving $790. That's off the founding member price. But if you miss the first 35, the ones that we're doing right here for the founding spots, then it's going to be $4.95 a month, and all prices kind of go up from there. And this is what's included. Live classes. All classes are recorded, so you have available in the portal, and they're live. They all have built-in accountability and workshops, so you actually do the work in class, so you do not wander forth and not do things. You also are going to be meeting with a pathway mentor who guides you. That's once a month. You're going to be meeting with that person, but they're also your touch point throughout your time in Ucoachia, so that you always know who to speak to. And this just breaks down, we asked the experts, how much would you charge to do this class each month outside of Ucoachia? And this is actually what the prices they came back with. And that's the total, $10,476 a freaking month. That's how much it would cost you to figure. I mean, I'm sorry, that's crazy. So we're doing it $3.95 a month. The reason why the experts are working with us and doing it at this rate is that they want to be part of the solution. And when there's such a huge issue and you have an opportunity to fix it, you put your money where your mouth is. You say, I want to fix this problem, and they're in, and they're excited. And so they're even throwing in bonuses.
There's another reason too, though. I just want to make sure that people know, because it does we do sound too good to be true. But the other reason that they're doing it is because they get to really stay in their zone of genius. And like we said earlier, they get to just coach. We take care of all the sales and marketing.
Yep.
So it's a really good situation for them as well. So they are showing up fully and giving their products, their programs at a much lower rate, but giving it all. Go ahead.
That's pretty cool. So what we're doing bonuses stat. because we also know there's certain things that you're going to need in month 2 that you don't need month 1. And why would you want something you only get to try out for a month and then just have it be gone? That sucks. So
Okay.
the first thing in bonus 1 for month 1 is Allison is our business expert, and she's doing you a one-on-one session. It's a 30-minute session with you so that you can get kind of focusing on what you really need to do for your business. We know how important the mind-body connection is. And Amy's holding a weekly breath work and meditation. That's part of this. This is all like, as long as you remember, this is what you're getting. Top 5 emails, swipe file. This is Ashley shows you, it's like, she doesn't say take these emails and do them. She has an entire course, like I think it's like an hour-long session that she teaches on what to do with these emails so that you can learn how to use them. And in month 2, you're going to get the home studio makeover. So how to make your background look good. Tracy apparently has never given this as a bonus before. Hi, Colleen. Monthly mindset is with Harley. She's going to help you keep yourself focused. And then there's something called Biz in a Box, which is the entire platform that we built Ucoachia on. We're going to be gifting it to you. It's a $97 a month thereafter if you choose to keep it. But you need that sort of thing to build out your landing page and to get your emails and all that. And you'll need that after in month 2 of the online events class, which is why we coordinated that gift to occur in the 2nd month, if that makes sense. And that is not it. All the pop-up classes that are coming up, like I just created one as we spoke. So the LinkedIn pop-up, Amy's doing one on social media. This is marketing, right? She's doing one on ads. I can't remember.
No, Amy's doing, well, I think she's going to do one on ads, but she's also going to do organic.
Organic. Okay. And I know that Lauren does social media. She's doing something also. And then the other thing is when you get this, you're locking in that price. The $395 a month is your lock-in. So you can do a 30-day pause on that price one time. And then when you come back in, you'll still be at $395. We did that because we know life happens and you're going to be doing something and all of a sudden you're gonna be like, wait a second, I'm traveling to Europe for a month. I don't want to lose out on this. So pause it, come back, you're still there. Now, if you pause it for more than 30 days, you're going to be whatever the new price is, which currently is going to be $495. Just so you understand how that works. And this is basically what it is. And we're really trying to make this into a no-brainer because you're getting 10 experts, all access to all the classes, both live and recorded. You have all the pop-ups, you have your one-on-one, and you have all your stacked bonuses. So we're trying to make that as easy as possible to step into this and have it be as risk-free as possible at $395 a month, or you can do the 6 month or the year to save more. And that is Ucoachia. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, how many members are in there so far?
We have 7. We literally are just launching. Yeah, so right now, any
Who are the other coaches?
What's that?
Who are some of the other coaches? You said there are like.
Yeah, I'll show you. And also they're in every single one of our this summit that we're doing. I'll take you to it.
Yeah, today it happens to just be Nancy's day, but usually there's one of our experts is with us.
So this is Allison. They're all very established, just so you know. We did an extensive search on everyone. So Amy runs like 6- and 7-figure businesses, multiple. Ashley is one of the top people for email nurturing sequences in tech, and she deals with conversational email. Ian has almost 8-figure, I think she's at 8-figure. Yeah, she's over $1 million with 15 employees for bookkeeping and business finance. Kate is, well, Kate, we're Harley and I are both like
Kate's a badass.
Yeah, Kate's a badass. No, Kate's the mastermind behind our platform, and she is one of the top 100 marketing leaders in the US. I mean, these people are not like woke up yesterday, decided to coach. These are heavy hitters. Lauren has been doing social media. She runs a multiple 6-figure social media company, and she is only teaching within Ucoachia. Tracy, who you'll see also, is only teaching within Ucoachia. Lauren she teaches you the difference between using social media to get clients as opposed to using social media to be vanity, which is useless. Melanie is a journalist. She is one of the most connected people I've ever seen in my life. And she really teaches about how to use content
Mhm.
and creating the content copy that actually speaks to your audience. And that's like, she's like hands in on that. Tracy has been nominated for an Emmy, and she stopped teaching this class outside of Ucoachia. And she's only teaching it in its video confidence and teaching people how to actually get up on video. That's who your teachers are.
Okay.
They're pretty freaking cool. Any other questions? No.
Look at the time, Nancy. I'm so proud of us. We're
We
right.
did
Look at what we did.
We take our wins, my friends. We take our wins. So yeah, if you guys are interested in joining, you can reach out. If you have any questions, you can also reach out. We're here, ucoachia@gmail.com. If you want to learn more about anything, the platform, see anything that what's about, have any questions, you can go to Ucoachia, https://ucoachia.com/join.
I put it in the chat.
Okay. That is literally, I hope that you come in. And I know, Liz, I know that you're not like in the market right now, but that's fine. If you're in the Facebook group,
Yeah.
all of our experts go in there and do lives in the Facebook group. So you can go in there and listen to them and ask questions, because it's really about helping you. So it's not necessarily like if you decide to join us, great, but we still want to serve you no matter what.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. You're welcome.